Welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to do the colour tests.
When you come into the lab, you need to be wearing your lab coat fully done up and have your safety glasses on and over your eyes. All of the lab scripts contain COSH and risk assessment information, and you need to have read these before you start working.
All colour tests need to be done in the fume hood, and because this is being filmed, I've got the sash right up. When you're doing it, the sash should be at about that height so the fume cupboard's working efficiently and none of the solvents are coming back into the lab. There are 9 test reagents that you're going to use. Some of them are one chemical, some of them are 2, and some of them are 3. All of them except for A2 are going to happen in one of these porcelain well plates, and A2 is going to be carried out in a test tube. We've got 8 unknowns for you to identify. There's 2 ways to do this practical. There is to use one unknown test reagent and all of the unknowns, or the way that I would recommend and that I'm going to show you how to do is to go with one unknown and all of the test reagents. I've got the well plates on a laminate. I'm just going to use a marker and I'm going to write down what I'm going to put in each of these well plates so that I can identify what I've done. Now everything's labelled, I'm going to add the test reagents. On the script it says to add 0.1 ml. That's about 1 or 2 drops. So I'm going to add the test reagents first and then I'm going to add the solvent. The solvent is chloroform except for A6 where I'm going to add some methanol. A1 is cobalt thiocyanate. A3 is mandolin, and that's in concentrated sulfuric acid, so be careful. Marquis is also in concentrated acid. A5 is nitric acid, concentrated nitric acid, so again. A6 is ferric chloride in water. A7 is in concentrated acid. A8 I need 2, so I'm going to add a drop of each. As is A9, and just swirl the whole laminate to ensure they're mixed. Now I'm going to add the solvent, so I'm going to add methanol to A6. And I'm adding chloroform to the rest. Now most of them are mixed. The ones that aren't, I'm going to use my micro spatula just to give them a stir. At this point we're looking at colour changes, so I've got all of the colour tests on the well. I would be writing down what colour I see, so whether it's a liquid, a precipitate, whether it's clear and see-through, or whether it's cloudy. If you want and you don't have gloves on, or you're working with somebody and they don't have gloves on, take a photo of before. Now I'm going to load the unknowns on. Just gonna pick one at random, and using the micro spatula I'm gonna add a little bit to each, so you can see how much. And with this, it really is a case of less is more, because if you put too much in, you obscure your observations, whereas if you use a little bit, you could always add a little bit more, but the observations tend to be clearer. And I've got a little bit of glue roll to wipe my spatula if I'm using it to push it in, so I'm not getting any of the test reagent or solvent back in. So I've added to all of them. You can swirl doing it with the laminate, or if I get another bit of glue roll, I'm going to stir some of them. So I'm stirring the one with just test reagent first, and then in. So in the first one, I can see I've got a colour change with the first one, and it's gone from pink to blue where the unknown is. So that's a really nice, obvious colour change. I've got a colour change in A3 where it's starting to go, I think, a bit green. And I'm just going to add a little bit more to A3 with the solvent. So at this point in the practical, you want to be going to the back of your script to where you've got the tables. So you've got the tables for a whole range of different analytes, and you've got what colour they should go and whether it's with solvent or just a test reagent. Bear in mind that a lot of these on the list I can't give you because legally I can't give you them in that quantity. So use the table and what you're seeing and discuss with who you're working with what colour you think it is and how they work up. Each of them should be identifiable with at least 2 tests, and write down what you're seeing, or if you want, take a photo of the observation. I'm now going to show you what you need to do for A2. So for A2 you need a test tube, and you need reagents A, B and C. Now on the script it's saying to do an equal volume, so for that I'm just going to by eye do the same number of drops. So that's A2 mixed, and you can see the colour against my glove. So now I've got a little bit of A2 in, and there's no visible change. So write down your observations. So for A1 it looks like I've got a pink solution with white powder in for the test reagent on its own. With the test reagent and chloroform, you can see where the unknown's gone, the colour change has changed to a bright, brilliant blue. Do that for the rest of them, and as I say, if you want, take a photo so you've got a reminder if this is the one for your lab report. Each of them will use 2 tests. Expect some of them not to change colour, and you either write down what you see, or you'll write, for example A5, I'd write no visible change as I can't see a visible change. Now I've recorded, I'm happy I've recorded my results. You need to clean up. The safest way for you to clean them up, because a lot of them are concentrated acids, is to get some blue roll, and with your blue roll mop up the reagent and solid, and if you do that, put the paper that's impregnated with all the chemicals in solid waste, and then the residual tiny amount of the test reagents and unknowns that are left on the plate, you can then rinse in the sink, and you can either dry the porcelain well plate to use again, or if you've finished, you can just leave it on the draining rack.
Thanks for watching, and if you've any questions, send me an email.